just go.
Okay. The pain of empathy still tormented Kanoe's body. He held his breath. He wouldn't have been able to turn around if the bandits had caught up with him. Emotional empathy was a useless thing. Kanoe felt hatred towards it from the bottom of his heart. The moon of light gleamed high in the sky. Kanoe ran against the wind deeper into the forest. In the meantime, the silver-haired cat didn't look back at Kanoe as he ran, and raised his sword instead. His appearance wasn't fierce, rather, he seemed to look indifferent.
Oh no, that eyebrow though. Pretty fierce.
Eyebrow raised. But the moment his sword sliced into flesh, there was definitely a small smile on his face. There was a muffled scream. Red lifeblood dripped to the ground. The green was dyed with flecks of vivid red. Wherever his silver hair fluttered, sprays of blood danced behind him, as if following his every moment. I'm stuttering at that one. The bloody feast in the deep forest was interrupted. Only the silence in the air indicated its end. Oh no! Oh! Several presences stirred, rising and quivering like heat waves.
I just want to get away from these snakes.
Maybe they're not the snake. Maybe
I don't.
The sand rustled as if fluttering around in a grand desert. The presences swayed. On the sand, one by one, there were cast-off husks of emotion. Unripe and fading emotions lay thick. They'd made a bitter sound if they were to be stepped on, even cautiously. A paradise of refined emotions, a fragile and ephemeral dream? Okay. Okay, English.
Frickin' snakes. I'm done with this snake. I don't like any of these snakes, but this snake in particular I am done with.
The yellow one. There, the wind blew. The swaying presences pushed it aside. On the winds were 4 fragrant colors. Just colors. Sometimes as sweet as a sugar pastry. Sometimes as still as the resting leaves. Sometimes as strong as angry rain.
We're gonna talk about how this one's super close. Hi.
Angry rain. Sometimes as sharp as restless iron. 4 winds raged fiercely. They spoke of one's salvation. Salvation to be rid of the cast-off shells of emotion. They flew away from this paradise. They were set free from their prison. How? It was quite simple, and even simpler when shared, but there was no one to share it with. No one could grant their wish.
Magic.
Because they could not reach. Even if they shouted at the top of their voices, they knew they would not be accepted. The winds laughed. Sound from the 4 colors echoed. The 4 colors whipped up the sand. They could go to continue their search. Voiceless voices echoed.
What?
Okay! The 4 winds dispersed and cast long shadows onto the sand. One sweet. Oh, one quiet.
Oh! They're actual dudes! No!
You know this, remember?
I know, but I was hoping it was a lie!
Oh my gosh!
I was hoping the internet lied to me! But it didn't!
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
One strong. One delighted.
Well,
the 3 spice crotch guy!
I'm excited though, I don't like the yellow guy, but at least 3 spike crotch guy is here.
Yeah.
All I need in the world.
They looked at each other and scattered into the sky.
They didn't want to get touched by the spikes.
Just flew everywhere. They just flew. Bye, guys! They appeared to be enjoying themselves. No one could see them. 4 shadows laughed. The sand around the cast-off shells whirled up. There was an empty sound as Kanoe ran with all his might. The four shadows turned into wind and disappeared.
So this is all happening while he's running?
I guess so.
Okay.
Like he ran on top of them, I don't know. Dots. How far had he run? All sense of time had left him long ago. Breathing was painful. Even so, Kanoe wouldn't stop running. Silver-haired cat. That cat had a mysterious intensity to him.
Anybody with an eye patch like that.
He remembered his cold blue eye. That cat was strong. He had a powerful air about him. He took on 10 or 20 bandits like it was nothing.
Anyone who can wear a muscle dress can do this.
Kanoe was extremely grateful that he had helped him escape. And I think he just wanted to beat up some bandits.
Finally! I'm so bored!
Fine, okay. Why did he? Even though it was easier to just abandon a weak cat, he didn't really know. He just wanted to beat some people up.
Yeah, man.
Was
Typical
it
Monday.
Just on a whim? Yeah, exactly. And what was he doing in this forest? Maybe it's just bandit territory. Was he a traveler as well? He was probably on his way to Ranson like he was. His questions kept coming. However, above all else, Kanoe knew that this cat was enveloped in powerful emotion.
Talking about how there was like green in the back there. I don't know if this is, but there's some green here. That's supposed to mean some stuff. Maybe I'm looking way too far into this, but there's some green.
Yeah.
Okay.
He seemed to crave fighting. Silver-haired cat moved sharply as if he were cutting the air. Just thinking about it made the hair on Kanoe's tail stand on end. Something had reflected in his blue eye as soon as he crossed his swords. There was some kind of light dwelling in it.
I was looking at
What? Kanoe wanted to know more about it.
okay. Ha!
While he continued to run, Kanoe pushed the brush aside and suddenly the ground below him disappeared. He fell. The ground had given out to a steeply slanted slope. He hadn't noticed it.
Sorry. My
No, that worked out. Before he knew what was happening, Kanoe went rolling down the hill. Rolling down the hill. Twigs and pebbles snagged against his clothes and scraped his skin. Scrapped his skin.
wrong game.
When he finally stopped, Kanoe found himself face down in mud. Aww. He slowly lifted up his body.
Rough day, buddy.
As soon as he tried, his head began to ache. His tail was tangled with his drawstring bag and ached too.
Been there, done that, dude. Not fun. Not with my tail, but with my foot.
He frowned and roughly pushed the bag aside as if he were mad at it. Darn bag! Darn bag! Noe stood up, breathing heavily at the pain in his body. He shook the leaves and dirt off of his clothes. What was he doing? Feeling pitiful, he looked up at the sky. The moon of light seemed to have quietly disappeared. Surprised, he took a look around. Overhead and all around him, steep cliffs protruded from the earth. Cliffs? Okay. Noah's feet had slipped. Luckily, the cliff he had stumbled down wasn't quite as steep. Falling from there wouldn't kill him, but the others would. The thought made him shiver. He almost died. No. For now, he needed to get back up those cliffs. He took a step forward and felt something strange under his foot. It felt strange and muddy, a surface unlike any other he walked on, and quicksand? No, he lifted his chin up and sniffed the air, soil, greenery, and water. All of these mixed into a putrid sense of decay.
It's the void.
Oh, dang. Really?
You fucked up.
He surveyed his surroundings. His vision was obstructed. It was dark and filled with fog, and the outlines of rotting trees stood out amongst it. The air felt oppressive and distorted. Perhaps this was the Yukoku Valley. Oh, map. Yeah, fart. Oh my gosh! Kanoe, how far'd you run?
Where was he going?
He was like right there.
Oh no, like I actually hear like he went this direction.
He was right there, and he just ran all the way down there.
But what is his plan now? Where was he trying to go?
Wasn't Ransom like up there?
I thought so. But now there's like a little path here, so maybe it's like...
I don't even know what's going on.
I don't know, but...
All the way over there now.
You did one hell of a trip, buddy. He was like somewhere here.
Yeah.
And he did this.
And he ran all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. And then he fell down that cliff.
He fell.
He heard rumors about it in Cairo. Inside the Forest of Illusion, there was a place where strange miasma rose from the ground, filling the trees and plants, poisoning the water, and turning the air stagnant. It was a place where no living thing could trend.
And he's standing there.
He's standing right in the miasma, apparently, or the muck, or whatever. The story went on, he remembered. In the Ukoko Valley, there was a village called Kyra where a tribe lived in seclusion, away from public eye. So, okay, people can survive there, I guess. They were okay. Never mind.
I guess you can. Okay, never mind.
They were bloodthirsty creatures. It was said that if you met their eyes, they would tear you apart like beasts.
Just look at their mouth.
Look at their nose. The people of Kyra, many had black ears and tails and brown skin. It was said that they had black marks on their bodies. Many of them matched the description of the cursed cats.
Wait!
Yes, I know!
Wait!
Yeah.
That's the...
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah! Real character.
Oh! Okay.
Your reaction. Oh my gosh.
My finger pointing. Oh!
Oh! Nevertheless, in reality, very few people actually went to Kyra or saw its people, so no one knew if these rumors were true.
They are.
Kanoe remembered being interested to know more, though. That was really fun. So, black ears and tails, black markings on their bodies, just like Kanoe.
Yeah, you're not special.
Maybe if he met them, he'd find some clues. Such a thought struck him now. If he kept going, maybe he'd run into them. He wanted to see what they looked like. But he was in danger here, if they really were as barbaric as the rumors claimed. Kanoe perked his ears and sniffed the air, watching the state of his surroundings. The dead trees didn't have the tutorial marks on them, but he could smell the faint scent of other cats. You know what I mean. Those marks that they do? Yeah. When they pee on the trees. Here. Kanoe followed the smell and started to walk through the dense fog billowing around him.
Are we gonna meet the real character?
Maybe the rumors really just were rumors. Don't start it. While he walked, that thought crossed his mind. He didn't know how vast this valley was to begin with, but Kyra had to be somewhere around here. His vision was obscured and he could hardly see anything. After he walked a considerable distance, Kanoe could smell cats, but it was nothing like a village anywhere at all. Maybe it's in the trees. Maybe it was just a rumor after all. Why are smelling cats, though? He figured he'd continue to trend on through the soft earth of the unchanging marsh a little more. Gradually, he began to suspect there really couldn't be a village here. The noxious smog filled the air around him. It wasn't a place where anyone could settle down and live.
Not that attitude.
When he looked up at the sky, he could only see a faint, blurry shape of the moon. It was clouded by the fog. The forest was dark at night, but this place was truly shrouded in darkness. Only eerie silence followed him. Trees.
I'm sorry.
It should be in the trees.
Was dark at night. Generally.
The forest was dark at night.
Generally, that's how it works.
Kanoe would go a little further. If he couldn't find anything, he'd go back. Up that cliff. He strained his ears as much as he could, paying attention to his surroundings and walking carefully, keeping his guard up. There shouldn't have been anyone around him. But
there was. Don't move. I need another voice. Don't move.
Oh god!
Let's not do that.
Do soft like June voice.
Don't move.
The voice suddenly echoed behind him. What's with the echo? Oh gosh.
She said echoed.
Kanoe tried to... Oh! True! Okay. Kanoe tried to look around, but something pressed against his throat. Wow. Wow. It was hard and cold. Cold sweat ran down his back.
Well, we're gonna keep with a soft voice then.
When did this cat appear? Kanoe hadn't noticed him at all because he started giving up that cats could be here. Could it be a Chiron cat?
No cat.
A knife pressed against his jugular. The voice sounded expressionless. Oh, that works. Yeah. Without a trace of intimidation. Yeah, we got good. But that was what made Kanoe gulp. Strangely terrified. The soft voice.
Are you okay? You're a cat of Kira?
Oh gosh. Can I do sign language? Kanoe quietly relaxed his body. His silence indicated his obedience. While the cat behind him kept Kanoe captive, he slowly began to change the direction of his body. He turned towards the direction Kanoe had come from. But Kanoe didn't intend to give in without a fight. Suddenly, Kanoe pushed his body forward from the cat behind him. He twisted all of his body weight at once to wrench himself free from the hand around his neck. Kanoe pushed his elbows back forcefully, but there was no reaction.
Stupid.
Told you not to move! Look what you did! A sharp wind flashed overhead and Kanoe ducked just in time. He saw the knife's stark shine in the corner of his eye. Oh dang. Kanoe's opponent was a male cat with a larger build than himself. His black attire let his entire body melt into the darkness.
Please let this be a route character, because I want to keep doing this voice.
Only his eyes, with his pupils drawn to thin slits, shone coldly. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Wait!
You're ready?
Wait a minute. Why is there an eye patch on this eye?
There's no eye patch, it's just darkens.
Okay.
Like, you know...
So... Got one guy missing his right eye.
Well, he's not missing his eye, it's just darkens.
Okay, fine.
It's just like,
okay.
It's just, you know...
Okay, but we're gonna introduce one guy with his right eye and the other one with his left, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're gonna see a connection there.
Oh gosh. Chills went up Kanoe's spine. In those eyes, he saw neither fighting spirit nor malice, only the urge to kill.
Yes.
True. Ernest's true eyes. His eyes didn't have the joy of fighting or anger in them, only the need to erase the life in front of him. Dang. I just met you today. It was a light that shone strongly with nothing but pure determination. Unconsciously, Kanoe gave a low growl. His opponent glared back intensely. Even though his enemy was larger than him, he didn't avert his eyes. Though he was inferior in build, he didn't plan on losing. The power of a look was much stronger than words. The cat's expression changed for just a moment. He opened his mouth slightly. But his foe was silent as he stepped forward and brandished his knife. Kanoe tried to avoid it, but he lost his footing in the mud.
Nice.
He lifted one arm to protect his head and could barely evade the blow by ducking to the side. The knife didn't cut his flesh, but its blade caught his gauntlet. Kanoe jumped back, unconcerned.
I would be a little concerned that, like, he got cut, but okay.
A dry sound echoed. The fabric of his gauntlet had ripped and listlessly fell to the ground. Now that there was some distance between them, Kanoe reached for the sword at his waist and changed his stance. But the cat didn't move. Even the murderous intent that clung to him gradually faded. Kanoe watched his opponent's actions suspicious. The completely black male cat stood straight.
I'm assuming it's the other guy? Yeah.
The male cat opened his mouth to speak. Yeah! His voice was tinged with confusion. Kanoe straightened out his posture too, narrowed his eyes, and stared at his opponent. It wasn't just his clothes. This cat was entirely dark. His skin was dark brown, his hair, tail, and ears were a deep black.
Can we go from first?
What?
Can we get his
Yeah.
Yes!
It wasn't just his clothes. This cat was... Oh. Kanoe saw what looked like marks on his arms. There was no mistake.
He's a route character.
There was no mistake. He was a route character. No, he was a cat of Kyra. That was Kanoe.
Yeah. Your arm?
I think. Okay. The murderous look faded from the eyes of the Kyran cat when he looked at... Oh, wait, no, that was... I don't even know who's speaking. He looked at Kanoe's arm where the gauntlet was torn off. Oh, so he torn off the gauntlet and he saw the markings. And he was just like, oh. Okay, that's why he stopped.
Arm.
His gaze turned next to his ears and tail. Kanoe's hood had fallen while he was fighting, so his ears had been exposed.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really don't want to point this out, but they forgot to color this in.
No, that could have been part of it. That could have been part of the tattoo thingy.
Really? That gray that matches the background?
Well, you never know. We'll
Okay.
see if there's another CG.
Shoot.
I think that's that cat.
Okay. Who are you?
I don't even know. Okay, so that was Kanoe. This is okay.
Who are you? That's what I came here to find out. What do you mean?
Kanoe picked up the torn gauntlet and glanced at his bared arm. Even in the darkness, he could clearly see its mark. That's Kanoe.
Well, shoot, did I mix it up?
Oh, darn it.
Oh.
Wait, any questions to ask Kyra? Yeah, that's Kanoe.
Why? You didn't mean to go there! Okay, I'm so confused, but anyways. They became like this all of a sudden. I wanted to know what these are, so I came here. I have questions to ask Kira.
What? The Kyran cat fell silent and stared at Kanoe. Complex look in his eyes. He lowered his ears slightly. Looked like he was trying to determine if Kanoe was telling the truth or a lie. So Kanoe looked at him straight in the eye. The Kyran cat looked down to his feet and seemed to be lost in thought for a moment, but then he looked up. He opened his mouth to say,
Come with me. Wait, I forgot. Little voice. Come with me.
"Come with me."
Come with me.
Kanoe was bewildered by his sudden words, but the Kyran cat turned quickly and began to walk away. Towards the village, he assumed. The black figure threatened to disappear into the darkness, so Kanoe hurried after him. After they walked for a while, the fog seemed to clear. They had arrived at the village of Kyra. Is it Kyra or Kira?
I pronounce Kira, so I don't know.
Oh gosh. Kanoe thought how he'd been lost just a while ago. No, it was simply because he was with this Kyran. Even though the fog had cleared, the heaviness of the air didn't change. Like the Yukoku Valley, the village of Kyra was covered in darkness. Oh, where'd we go? Oh, no, we're just still there. Yeah,
we were here, now we're here.
Cool. All of the cats' houses were built on the tops of trees, I told you! Their exteriors were rustic. There was absolutely no decorations. It was a much drearier place than Karo. If Karo was green, then he'd say Kira's color was gray. It had a barbarous air to it. All of the village cats who watched them just narrowed their eyes and showed caution. Threatening growls rumbled in their chests.
Chill, man!
It was hard to tell clearly, but there seemed to be numerous cats with black ears, tail, and markings.
We just want to touch that dude's butt.
The cat who'd led him here now walked straight through the village. In the middle of the village was a big dread. dead tree. Built on top of it was a hut noticeably larger than the other houses. Leading up to it were wooden stairs.
Wait a moment. Looks so sweet too.
The black cat headed up the steps and entered the hut, then came back out a while later. From atop the tree, he signaled Kanoe with his eyes.
You were right!
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Kanoe went up the stairs to enter the hut. It's a hut, it's a hut, it's a hut! The interior of the hut was a lot more spacious than he thought. But there was nothing valuable in the dim hut, only a few storage pots and some time-worn shelves. An old cat stood in the center of the hut, and a younger cat waited behind him. Kanoe was surprised when he saw the young cat. The cat was female.
Yes! Yes! Finally a female character!
Her white ears and tail stood out well against her brown skin.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about that. I mean, what?
The female cat glared at Kanoe with big eyes as if to expel his gaze.
And what about the old man?
The old cat sat down. His body was large. A deep crease ran down the middle of his forehead. Even though he was old, a sharp glint in his eyes quietly seized Kanoe. His ears and tail weren't black, but his marks firmly stood out on his skin.
They leave!
The old cat said to the black cat Kanoe had followed here. His tone felt more severe than necessary.
That sounds severe because that just sounded old.
The cat did as he was told and silently left the hut.
Well then.
Oh, there's a chin.
Wait, he's got a chin.
He got a chin.
Wait. You just said something about his ears, right?
Yeah.
Is it like there and just like little nubs?
Maybe.
Anyways, okay.
The elderly cat looked back at Kanoe. His tail swung greatly and noisily beat against the floor like a powerful whip. Bang, bang, bang.
That usually means they are pissed off.
It's just like a bang.
I suppose I should say, welcome. Kish.
Oh.
Kanoe!
Sorry.
Oh gosh!
Got a little excited. Are you Kier's chieftain? Oh, shoot. Okay.
Indeed.
The Kyran elder brazenly looked Kanoe up and down.
Okay. I was like, who is this one?
Listen to what I tell you. To be frank, we don't allow outsiders into this village. However, those black ears, the tail, those markings.
The elder's gaze stopped at Kanoe's arms. Because the gauntlets were torn, his black markings were exposed.
Have you always had those?
No.
And you're saying they just suddenly appeared one day?
Yes. Ooh, sorry, the voice is hard. I heard a rumor about you all, and then I searched for this village thinking that you might know more about this.
Actually, I fell off a cliff, and then I remembered about this place.
It just kind of happened.
Oh, you're fucking lying. Not how this started out.
The chief snorted and approached Kanoe, taking hold of his arm. His palms were dry and rough.
Okay, I was like, which one?
Black ears, a black tail, and black markings. Signs of the legendary curse. There are certainly people of Kira who fit that description.
Oh, wait, what? Wait.
Was that Kanoe that was saying that?
That's a legendary curse. Really for this. Okay, maybe. Oh,
No, that's.
Is it still the same thing?
Yeah, that's the old guy.
Same guy?
Wait, yeah, I think that's still the old guy. Wait.
Sweet!
I don't know anymore.
Well, it's still gonna be the old guy.
All the world may say so. We only honor our traditions. For instance,
Kira's elder stuck out his own arm and rubbed the mark on his skin. The mark faded and warped a bit.
is no birthmark. That it is a proof that we are people here. They are merely marks drawn on our bodies with a blend of molasses and water.
So you're cheating.
Many girls with black ears and tails come from Karen lineage. I can't do words. We adhere to protecting our pure bloodlines, but as for yours...
The chief looked into Kanoe's eyes. Kanoe suddenly felt powerless.
Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with us. You're shit out of luck.
Elder! Calm down with the cussing.
Sorry.
Just kidding. The expectant hope Kanoe had been feeling was crushed when he heard that.
Where do you come from?
Cairo.
Oh, Cairo. You left your village?
Because I was about to be eaten.
Yes. I can never return.
Not with a body like this. You're about to get eaten.
Well... Your...
I'm like trying not to cough.
Your life sucks.
Thank you, Elder.
I can imagine.
The Elder sighed and cast his gaze towards the window.
I'm just gonna like totally like improv his like lines because I like my lines better.
He seemed to be pondering something. The attending female cat behind the Elder stared intensely at Kanoe. She seemed strong-willed.
How are you? Okay.
Came here for nothing, huh?
While he stared out the window, the Elder suddenly opened his mouth.
No, it's fine. I just came here to hear your story.
He wouldn't be surprised if they chased him out or killed him. Though he knew their states were different, the Chiran Elder seemed distracted by something else.
I'm too old to chase you.
Kanoe began to water. He began to wonder if the rumors he heard in Cairo about them being savages were lies.
I'm too old to be a savage.
The Elder turned around and silently looked at Kanoe, then shook his head.
I don't intend to accommodate strangers, but I understand how you feel. There was a time when the surrounding opposition would bear their fangs at us too. It'll be a harsh life with that body. Perhaps even more than it's for us. Especially if it wasn't by your own choice. It is even more painful when the others don't understand.
Thoughts.
Noe grit his teeth and clenched his fist, his claws cutting into his palm. He didn't need to be here any longer.
And neither do we, because it's the end of the episode! But we met another real character.
Yeah.
We met another real character.
Yeah.
And I want touch to play. I like that dude better, so. Yeah! Anyways, new route character.
We don't know any of their names yet.
Yeah, really. Just nobody. Nobody's got names here.
Everyone's question mark.
Oh my god. Oh, I don't want to do Elder again. That was rough. Anyways, let's all go to sleep, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.